now. I know that there are many, there are many people who have a lot of different responsibilities. In fact, we were just saying that the fencing match is happening at this point right now in Morse Hills. We're so excited that our girls fencing team is in the state championship. We have other sports that, of course, our students are involved in, as well as the arts and extracurricular activities. Just last night, we had to juggle between, what do we have? We had the Black History Month Jubilee, a celebration of Black composers with our orchestra, but we also had freshman night. So we want to definitely make sure that, if parents can't make it to this event, we wanted to record it so they can have it as well. Ms. Hernandez, just a quick thing. I see like two little boxes. Is it okay? Is just one big screen going on right now on your end?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Perfect. That's what I want to talk about. So what are we doing right now? It's the month of February and it's about to begin March. So I definitely want to tell you, like, the exciting thing that's happening right now is that our students are starting to register for their classes for next year. All good things here at Columbia High School you can find and access at the Counseling Annex website. So it's right off of our school website, but I have it here. I'll definitely make sure when this video is complete to send the link to this video as well as the slides so that you can see all of these links. But you can definitely see where it says course selection here on the right-hand side, right? You can find all the information, the program of studies, the grade level, whether it's rising freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors, their worksheet on what classes they should be taking. We're going to start the process within the next 2 weeks. We already had our counselors had individual meetings with the juniors. And then from there, and we're going to start to, I think in 2 weeks, start the registration process for our juniors, who of course are our rising seniors. But in addition to that, on this website, you can see also all the supports that we do have for our students. So I just wanted to remind you of this great website and how the new programming for next year is set to begin. In fact, on Friday, we have assemblies for grade level assemblies for the 10th graders and the juniors to focus on AP, honors, dual enrollment, and other opportunities that we have here at Columbia High School. And then next week, there'll be a special freshman meeting as well. That one will be held in period 9. So we have kind of like a couple rallies planned for our students, right? Get them excited about this process. And I can tell you, one of the great things about Columbia High School is this rich, varied program of study. So definitely check it out with your child. I think you'll definitely enjoy it and be impressed on all the great courses that our teachers have created. So that's one of the questions that some parents asked. The other questions, I think many of our questions had to do with COVID protocols. So you can see this, you can get the district data on our school website, but I like to just also break it down what's happening at Columbia High School. And obviously you can see for the 3 weeks in the final week of December and the first couple of weeks of January, we hit a spike, a tremendous spike with COVID cases. However, you can see in the last month, those cases have significantly dropped. We had one case officially last week, and so we have 2 cases so far this week, which is remarkable. We definitely pay attention and study these numbers, which is why, for example, even though at first we had a no spectator policy with students coming to our high school games for the winter games, once we saw our numbers like right here, we decided to let juniors and seniors attend. And then once we got to right over here, you can see that's when we started to let freshmen and sophomores attend. So we are always flexible with our policies, ready to pivot when we get, the right data or when we get more information. So I am assuming you already saw the note or the letter from our central office from our superintendent, Dr. Taylor. As you know, the governor has made the mask mandate to mask optional starting in the first week of March, so on March 7th. However, we're still in two communities, still two towns that have mask ordinances, and we're a very cautious school community. Therefore, we're going to continue to wear masks in the high school building, right? We're going to continue to wear that until at least the spring break. At spring break, we might pivot to not wearing masks. So what's going to happen next week? Next week, we'll start to see that students outside would not have to wear masks when they're off campus or on campus, but outside. During PE classes, students can take their masks off. But other than that, we're going to continue to wear masks. There was a question about vaccination status, right? The vaccination status is obviously to be fully vaccinated is to have your 2 shots of Pfizer or Moderna. I think Pfizer really for teenagers, but we are recommending that students get that booster shot. At this point, the Department of Health in New Jersey has said that students should quarantine if they haven't had their booster. We haven't mandated that in our school district, and so we're looking to transition to that point, but we haven't had any official date for when that will. So right now, we will continue to say that students who do not have their vaccines will continue to have to quarantine, okay? Nothing to do with boosters yet, just the vaccination status. But as I mentioned before, we're going to be cautious with COVID, but as we start to transition from winter sports to spring sports, we're going to see our students not wearing the masks outside during aerobic activities. Will students have to wear them on school grounds, like for example as fans? Again, that's going to depend on where the municipalities end up. There was a question about plastic barriers. The plastic barriers that are in the classroom, they'll be out in March. I believe it's the second week of March when the school district has announced that. We don't have many plastic barriers in our classrooms, but we do have them at lunch in the cafeteria. So we're going to continue that according to the district policy throughout the month of March. But in April, we may shift once again. Of course, it's all going to be up to these numbers, right? If these numbers continue to be this low, I think that would be a signal that we won't need it, especially, and it's just so fortunate that where we are, we have over 90% of our students are vaccinated. So it is a clear indication that we have healthy students and that we will be ready to shift with our COVID protocols. And so, as I have promised our students, I think it's really important to have this return to normalcy, right? Where our musical is going to be in person. It's just 2 weeks away. We're so excited about it. Now, the students, of course, rehearse and practice with their masks, but during performances, they will not have their masks, just like basketball players or hockey players don't have their masks while they compete. And so as I mentioned to our students, our freshmen, our sophomores, and juniors, we will have dances. We haven't had dances for our students in the past 2 or 3 years. So you can expect more information about spring flings, if you will. These will be outdoor concerts, probably right outside of Ritzer come May. So as soon as we get permission on that, we will send out more information. We already know, of course, that we will hold the prom for our seniors, just like we did last year. It's really important for our students to have that sense of normalcy of high school back. So as you can see, we're trying to balance that normalcy, right, with, of course, good health protocols. So hopefully we answered the questions there about COVID. Safety protocols and plans, really important. Just remember when you're dropping off your child, that the child does not cross, like jaywalk, across Valley or across Parker to get to the school. It's very important and safe, and for safety reasons that they use the crosswalks. I'm out there every morning, and sometimes I shudder. I get a little nervous about that, but luckily we have crossing guards at both corners, so hopefully they'll walk to the corner to cross safely. So we've had code yellows this year, as well as we had one code red, and we had the code red in January when our COVID numbers were extremely high. And so we kind of did a modified code red where our students, which is kind of like a lockdown, and our students didn't have to really go into the corner all cramped up because obviously we wanted kids to be healthy. Well, I did promise that by the end of February, so very, very soon, we'll have a code red drill. So the state of New Jersey, I mean, first of all, our policy is to always send out a note or a letter, which we did earlier this year when there was a code red drill. We will continue to do that, but New Jersey has just changed its security regulations, and now any security drill, other than the fire drill, any security drill will have a letter going home to parents letting them know that there was a code yellow or code red. So when we have that drill this week, or perhaps next week, you'll receive a letter letting you know that the drill has started and when the drill has ended. And again, we call our lockdowns code red. We don't call them active shooter drill or anything like that. So I just wanted to remind you about that. That's happening in February. The other, let's see. There was a couple of questions about the girls' bathroom. Usually it was the boys' bathroom that we get some questions about, but we haven't had any issues since that TikTok thing in September. Just to know, of course, we always value student voice here, and students. We have a club called Girls Helping Girls, period, and we've talked about the different types of. We've always offered free menstrual products for our students, but now we put in brand new 4 actual really nice high-end dispensers that you would see at a college campus. We put one in each of the girls' bathrooms in the A wing, so each floor, and then also one in the D wing, which is in the basement by the cafeteria. So that is there. We have enough funding for it to continue to be filled moving forward. We used actually that Zach Braff money from the filming from, I think it was November, when they filmed the movie on campus for a day. We used that money to pay for the dispensers, and they've been a big hit. So we're going to continue that. There was a note for question from a parent whether there was graffiti in the girls' bathrooms. I wasn't aware, but I did tell the custodians today that if there is graffiti, to make sure it's cleaned off and scrubbed off by tomorrow. So we'll have that fixed. And it's always, great information. I do not kind of pop into the girls' bathroom. I do pop into the boys' bathroom to make sure things are okay throughout the day. So I'll ask our assistant principals to do the same in the girls' bathrooms. And there was a thing that there were so many paper towels, I guess, on the floor. We'll definitely speak to our students to make sure that they realize that they need to kind of push their paper towels into the garbage can, but we'll also talk to our custodians to make sure that the garbage cans are cleared at least twice a day rather than just once a day. But here's some good news. We talked about the graffiti. We are going to start a new program created or thought of by a freshman class student council member of starting a painting program in the stalls to kind of student artists will get to be commissioned, to paint a stall, and they'll have their work approved by an art teacher, and then they can go out and paint that. So where do we get this idea? So this is brand new that we started as a platform just a couple weeks ago. It's called Cougar Voice. We've been telling students about it. We have a good couple dozen ideas already. As you can see, students can either submit an idea and or browse ideas and vote on it. So as you can see, the bathroom art idea, paintings in the bathroom, from inspirational messages to meditational art. And you can see 45 students have voted yes on this. There are students who want to add AP macroeconomics. There are students who want additional gender neutral bathrooms. So you see all of the different ideas. Some are easy to do, right? Like the bathroom art. So we've already approved that. And then there are some things like that cost money, right? That we have to budget for, whether it's AP macroeconomics or additional gender neutral bathrooms. But it's really important to get our students getting their ideas. And then from there, we'll move forward and put as many as we can in. So we'll be doing the same with staff next month. So we're excited about this new platform. Again, it's called Cougar Voice, and it's for our students right now. So there was another question about, I guess, inappropriate student social media. And, we couldn't agree more. We have definitely seen a spike in the past year or two, just, I don't know if it's a pandemic result, but we are talking about it as staff members. In fact, Digital Learning Day was just a few weeks ago, and that was one of the things that we talked about as a staff. I have a curriculum blog website for our teachers where we put important new resources out there. And so we were talking about Digital Learning Day and all of the new resources that you can find on a great website called Common Sense Media. And we looked at their digital citizenship curriculum. And so we are specifically, to answer this parent's question, specifically folding some of those lessons into our health curriculum. So our juniors who have health this marking period will be seeing it next. And then our freshmen who have health will be seeing it in the fourth marking. So thank you for that suggestion. We're on it already, but it's nice to see that as well. So what were some other questions? There were a couple questions which was interesting from elementary schools. And that's, I guess it was recess. And there was a question, I think, why are some students separated by class? I would have to assume that's a COVID mitigation strategy, right? So, for example, students in this class play together. So in case there is an outbreak, right, we don't have to quarantine the entire fourth grade. It's just this fourth grade class. However, I did learn in a recent construction meeting, as we're talking about the referendum, for example, at Jefferson, that's not the reason, right? So I don't know if this parent has a child at Jefferson. Sometimes it's just because of the construction on the plant, right, or on the campus, that does restrict where students can play. So I think the best thing to do is to actually ask the teacher or the principal of that building. But I'm going to tell you that's what I think. Let's see. Oh, there was it's always great to hear feedback from parents, because there was a question about, my student is printing 15 pages every couple days for a physics class. That shouldn't be the case, because obviously there's an equity issue there, right? What if you don't have a printer, or your printer paper is out, or color? But as a teacher very recently who left the classroom, and I used Canvas in my school, I always had a digital version of the book on Canvas, right? And a PDF attached to it. And sometimes I would have PowerPoint slides, and the students would print them out. And I'm like, why are you printing them? You don't need to. It's right there online. but some students just like the paper copy, right? They love it. They like to highlight. They like to write on it. So I wonder if it is that the teacher is requiring a student to print out the pages, or if it's just because the student prefers it. So what I would recommend is, in this case, to have the student, ask the teacher if this is a requirement, and if it is, then send an email to the supervisor and myself, and we could get that fixed, because there's no reason why anyone should be printing 15 pages. We have textbooks. If that's the case, if there needs to be a hard copy, we'll get you the textbook. There were a couple questions about homework, right? And how much homework is appropriate. To me, it's a hard question to answer, because I'm not sure if this is an AP class, if it's honors class, if it's a college prep class, is it an elective, and that matters, right? Because, for example, in an AP class, there's just so much material and curriculum that has to be covered because of this test from College Board that's in May, by the way, not in June, but in May, for New Jersey schools. So it depends, right? Well, it depends how much homework is appropriate. Now, I will say this. We have an accreditations process that begins in March. Our teachers, starting in March, will be focusing on 2 to 3 specific goals that they want the building, the faculty, the administration to look at over the next 2 to 3 years. One goal I'm going to select, or at least really push, and that's going to be social and emotional learning for our students, to focus on student anxiety and teacher anxiety, right? And being overworked. And so that part of homework will be folded into there. So that's something that we will be looking at as a building over the next 2 or 3 years. And then the staff, of course, will select 2 other really important areas of focus. So that's great. So hopefully we'll have a clear answer to that question. Of course, if you want to give me the real specifics, please feel free to email me. Open staff. So we do have some open staff positions. I'm not sure if you've heard it. It's been a very challenging year in New Jersey to hire specific staff members, especially at the high school level, especially special education. In fact, the New Jersey legislature just passed a law that actually allows retired teachers to come back, even with their pension being paid, to come back and teach for a finite amount of time. Fortunately, this next board meeting, I think we're hiring 2 staff members that are open, and specifically the question had to do with a world language opening, and that staff member, that position is going to be hired. So there won't be a large window from when our staff member resigned to when a new staff member comes. So just to let you know, our supervisors do really a great job in trying to find certified, and that's important, right? Certified staff members to replace anyone who's retiring or resigning. And in fact, administrators across the district, there were like 5 or 6 of us the other day at a college career fair, right? And trying to not compete against each other, but looking for qualified new teachers. And you can see the picture right next door. This was late last night. Our students are creating their set for Newsies. It's just incredible, right? Not only do we have great student performers, but I'm always just so impressed when I go to the auditorium. Like, the students are in charge of costumes. The students are in charge of the set. I mean, they really built this set, and they have real great ownership of it. So it was so fun last night watching them create these faux steel terraces off that brick building that we have for Newsies. So if you get your tickets, they're online, really important. Now, a parent asked about clubs. Clubs do not meet period 9. It wouldn't be fair for students who have a period 9 class. Clubs do meet after school. Now, there are some exceptions to that. Like, for example, the newspaper club, right? They'll have a meeting. I've seen they'll have a meeting period 9, and then they'll meet again after school, right? So it's the same. And other, like, I think the Key Club does the same thing. When you have these really huge clubs, they offer the same meeting twice back to back. This way, we don't have 100 students in a classroom, right? Which I think makes sense because of COVID. If that's not the case in a specific club that I might not know about, please email me and let me know, because our policy is very strict about that. We don't want students to miss out, but we also don't want our period 9 teachers to have to feel like, wait a minute, was my class not important because the students are going to, let's say, the yearbook meeting? We can't have that. So it's very important that clubs do not meet period 9. There was no question about this, but I definitely want to throw this out there. New Jersey is launching, I almost said unleashed, is launching a brand new graduation requirement exam. It's called the NJGPA, I think the Graduation Proficiency Assessment. And so it's the NJGPA. And this is going to be an 11th grade test. It's all across the state. It has to be given from March 14th through the 18th. Each session of the test is about an hour and a half, and it's just like the PARC or the NJSLA. So your children are being well prepared for it. They're familiar with this. They should not induce any anxiety about this. And even though it seems like it's high stakes, if a student is not successful, there's other pathways for graduation, which we can talk about. So what we're going to do for those 4 days is we're not going to have the test on Monday. We'll choose to have the test on the Ides of March 15th, which is Tuesday. And then that's going to be 11th graders. They'll test from 8 to 10. The rest of the school, right, 9, 10, and seniors, they'll come in at 10-ish, right, to start on a delayed opening schedule. We might have grade level meetings, perhaps, we're not sure yet, but the point is testing will be for juniors from 8 to 10. And then on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, we'll come in and we'll have not the regular delayed opening schedule, but a special one. This is the regular delayed opening. It's always periods 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that's great if it's a 1-day snow day, right? Hey, maybe Friday we'll have a delayed opening. I don't know. But what if you have to do it 4 days in a row? It's not cool to miss periods 1, 2, and 3 for 4 days. So what we're going to do is then we'll just change it around. So we'll see we have 1, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. We'll definitely remind our VOTEC students, because this will impact them, about that. But other than that, it's a great way to not miss so many periods. Obviously, we have to run periods 5, 6, and 7 every day because those are our lunch periods. And so we'll be taking some questions. I do want to say that I am so excited that over the past few weeks, we've been just blessed really to work in a community that honors its school and wants to create the best facility for its children. So we've been working with our architects to really transform our high school's media center. We're going to add 7 classrooms to the building, including 2 really exciting classrooms for our special ed community to really foster life skills programs. The last time we have had major construction at Columbia High School was 1971 when the B and the D wings were built, specifically the old library. I don't know. Oops. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Was built, and I had this little tweet about the old library, and now we're looking at our brand new library, which is going to be awesome. And that also, just last night, we were Ms. Balasso, Ms. Butler, and myself were talking to our freshmen, our rising freshmen, and just bragging that within after their freshman year, they'll have some really cool facilities, brand new science labs. In over 10 of our science labs are going to be modernized, which is going to be awesome. We also have a plan for the pool to create a special commons area. We're going to call it Alumni Hall and Commons. You can see some really neat features about that. where we'll have kind of like an amphitheater for students to sit and communicate. I think that's, to be honest, that's what our students need after the pandemic, right? They need a place to connect with each other. They need a place to collaborate, to also have some independence, right? So if they have an off period, to be able to come to a space like this and work on their own. Under here, you'll see there are 3 silent rooms. And I say silent rooms, 3 quiet rooms. You know, rooms where 3 or 4 students can get together and study before the next big test, let's say period 4, period 5. It's exciting. It really, really is. And we'll keep, of course, the historic pool tiles and ceiling. That's not going to be touched. And we actually have right here in that little like mezzanine area more tables for students to be in. But I think the vision for Columbia is to really offer students a unique place to be independent if they want to, or to practice their independence, but yeah, at the same time, collaborate and communicate and connect with their classmates. So there's a lot of exciting things that we have going. So I just wanted to give you some of the answers to our questions, and let's see if I don't, is the chat open? I don't even see the chat.
The chat is open, but we currently have no additional questions.
No additional questions. Oh my gosh. I think
You were very thorough.
maybe the beautiful blueprint, I think, has mesmerized our fans here. Ms. Hernandez. Any questions from parents?
No.
Well, we're gonna have to pick swatches soon, so we would love your input. Oh, this says something. There's a Q&A section, not just the chat. I don't see a Q&A.
If you're referencing the Google form that was sent home, those were already checked. When will report cards be posted?
Oh, ooh, I would have said Monday. I thought we were supposed to post them on Monday. If they're not there, I apologize. Then I will find out. They'll be there tomorrow. The report card should be posted, as well as second marking period honor roll. So I know that they were just behind on getting the seniors their transcripts, right? Because that was the focus, because we need to get those half year transcripts out, and that was done on I shouldn't say Monday, Tuesday, right? Because we were off Monday. So that was all done Tuesday. So report cards should be up. If they're not up, I apologize. They should be in the eDocs folder, and I will check that tonight, and I'll send an email to all parents when it's up by tomorrow. Good question.
That's it.
I can't see if there's someone else has a question on the. We can't see the Q&A. So.
All right, hold on. There's another one that just came up now. That was fast. Is next school count
room? There's a question about bathrooms and no paper. So can you have your child just email me what wing it is, and we're all over it. We'll make sure that there's paper there. There's no excuse for that. We have plenty of paper in this building.
Next year's school calendar is going to be out shortly. It's not out yet. I spoke with central office, and they're hoping within the week.
Yeah, that'd be important, because we want to know when spring people need to make their plans. So absolutely. Okay. Wow, girls' bathroom. No, there were no questions about it last year or last time, but there was like 2 or 3. Not good. We'll get on that.
That's it.
That's it. Well,
That's it.
this is great. I have extra time now to go to the fencing match. So hopefully our Cougars are winning at Epi or Sabre. And there's one more, I forget the other. Now I'm getting in trouble. But that's what we're going to do tonight, and we're going to hopefully cheer them on. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Again, send me the link about the bathroom, where it is with no tissue paper, and we'll take care of it. Okay? Mr. Hernandez, as always, thank you so much for all your help. I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody. Have a great evening.
Good night.